The Police and Prison Civil Rights Union, Popcru, is demanding that Arthur Fraser step down from the position of Correctional Services Commissioner. The union says Fraser has no plan to deal with COVID-19 in prisons, while prison wardens are falling prey to the disease, in some cases even dying. Fraser was moved to Correctional Services after being publicly accused of using his previous position at the State Security Agency to make money and to use that position for political purposes. Richard Mamabolo is the spokesperson for Popcru. Richard, good afternoon to you. Why do you want Arthur Fraser to step down?
Look, I think if you remember at the DCS, that was the time when there were a lot of revelations around the challenges that were facing the department with Busasa being involved and all the corruption allegations. So we had thought that he would bring a new change that would ensure that we actually fix the challenges that are within the DCS. The DCS has always had challenges, by the way, even before the COVID-19. We've always had challenges around overcrowding and staffing, and those challenges have been neglected for a long time. We thought that, in fact, he had made commitments that he would ensure that that work is done. However, we have not seen a single action from him with regards to ensure there are transformational changes within the DCS. And what was the last straw for us was the fact that a lot of our members have been dying and a lot of them have been getting infected. We had obviously raised the matters with him and his management, and they had promised that action would be done to ensure that such challenges are addressed. Up to so far, nothing has been done. In fact, whenever we have meetings and agree within the steering committees, it seems as if certain decisions are taken elsewhere outside of those meetings, because our interest in those meetings is to ensure that we obviously ensure that our members' views are represented and to ensure that we can offer advice. So they have not been listening to us. He has personally been cancelling a lot of meetings, while at the same time taking decisions or reversing decisions that have been taken. For example, we looked into the matter of COVID-19 and decided within the steering committee that we should obviously have a 50% staff complement, one which will work 1 week and the other work the next week. So he unilaterally went and changed that decision. And since we called all members by threats, by the way, we have seen an increase in the rise. Again, there's another challenge of, with regards to staff shortages, there has been about 2,000 trained members who were supposed to be incorporated into the DCS so that we ensure that there is sufficient capacity. Those 2,000 people have been training, they have passed their qualifications, however, they have not incorporated them so far. What the commissioner has done was to go to the South African Defence Force and get about 980 members who have got no experience whatsoever with relations to how to assist inmates in rehabilitating, and have never been trained by the same institutions that had trained those 2,000 members, which we want immediately to have them within the service. So those are some of the challenges that have been going on. And of course, we feel that the fact that a lot of decisions within the steering committee are being undermined. Members are dying on a daily basis, and yet the DCS has been failing to come to terms with meeting us and obviously discussing a way forward.
Richard, I mean, are you suggesting that he's just not interested in administering correctional services, or could he just disagree with you on how best to manage them? I mean, he does have a right to manage.
He has been there for some time already, and there has not been a single thing that you can point to and say, no, since he came into the DCS, there have been improvements with anything. So we feel that he doesn't have the appetite. I'm sure him moving from the intelligence world has obviously had a negative impact. I think, members, in fact, are just being charged, and of course, some of them forced to come back to work while they're still quarantining, some of them with infections. That is why the numbers are rising, and he has not shown any form of interest. We have been discussing this thing since the start of the lockdowns back in March last year. There has not been a single action. Members complain on a daily basis about the same issues.
Richard, I mean, we have to ask, is Arthur Fraser really a fit and proper person to actually be appointed Commissioner at the Department of Correctional Services in the first place? I mean, he was only appointed there to get him away from the spies, wasn't he? I mean, it was so obvious he was only appointed there to get him away from the State Security Agency.
That is correct. He was actually transferred. That's what they called it. He was transferred to the DCS. And we cannot really have people without any form of knowledge or any clue about what is supposed to be done within the DCS or the vision thereof, you know. So in him, we see a person who lacks all those qualities, really. We cannot continue with him being the national commissioner. We think that there should be change, and we should obviously have a broader discussion about how we deal with some of the challenges therein. I mean, currently we've got 85% reoffending rate. That means that out of all people who are released from our prisons, 85% of them tend to reoffend. It shows that the core mandate of the department is not being implemented, because the core mandate is to rehabilitate. And you cannot have people who are clueless running that, because they don't have a long-term vision of how we can change the department. We've been making a lot of suggestions over the years about how we could actually ensure that prisons become self-sustainable. Yet all those cries have been falling on deaf ears. So it's about time now. This is the last straw. Our members are dying. We cannot tolerate it anymore. There are over 2,000 members who are roaming the streets currently, who are qualified, who are supposed to be working. They are not there, but yet we still have a lot of staff shortages within the department.
Richard Mamabolo, thanks very much indeed. Spokesperson for the Police and Prison Civil Rights Union, Popcru.